First is desirability, second, health. Generally speaking, there's three kind of big buckets of reasons why someone might engage in intentional weight loss. First is desirability, second, health, third, stigma. But at the end of the day, all of those are rooted in fat phobia in different ways, and I'll explain. First, desirability. That is kind of the most obvious when it comes to fat phobia. We currently live in a society that uplifts thinness, able-bodiedness, whiteness, cisness, and heterosexuality as the things that are most desirable. And so if you are wanting to lose weight in order to become more desirable, you are upholding a fatphobic beauty standard, as well as, white supremacy and all that jazz. So next is health. What we know is that weight is not a good indicator of someone's health, and also your health is not an indicator of your worth. You can have health and body related goals for yourself that are not about fat phobia and not about weight loss. So let me give you an example. You might decide that you have a goal of hiking a particular mountain in your area. Now, you would be engaging in different types of movement in order to achieve that goal. You may or may not lose weight in doing that. And in fact, there's lots of fat mountaineers and hikers. Third bucket reason is that you might be facing extreme fat phobia and anti-fat bias in your own life, and you have personally mentally hit a wall where you can't deal with it anymore, and so you decide to intentionally lose weight. That is actually the case with Roxane Gay, who is very tall. They are like 6 foot or 6'1", and prior to their weight loss surgery, they would have been categorized as a super fat. So being a super fat and being that tall comes with a particular type of physical accessibility challenge as well as anti-fatness. And so for that reason, Roxane Gay elected to have weight loss surgery. But it's really important that if you still go through with intentional weight loss, that you don't sacrifice fat liberation politics, because otherwise it's still just fat phobia, even if you're doing it for your mental health and accessibility.
Yo-yo and hello, my name is Lydia, and on today's episode of my 25-pound yo-yo, we will be talking about why intentional weight loss is fat-phobic. Or is it? Now, I've wanted to make this video for quite a long time, but in order to keep the running time of this somewhat short, I'm only going to focus in on the points that were outlined in that opening TikTok, which were desirability, health, convenience, and activism. Now, I tried so hard to watch that TikTok with an open mind. I really, really did. But I still can't seem to wrap my head around how me doing something to my body affects someone else so negatively. I have a lot to say here. So why don't we watch this next clip, then come back and discuss. Why is intentional weight loss fatphobic? The current beauty standard is a small waist and a curvy bottom. But how many people actually look like that? Does that mean everyone else is not desirable? Everyone has certain things that they find physically attractive. Some people prefer thin, some people prefer fat, some people prefer short, and some people prefer tall. Demanding that people find fat bodies attractive and discouraging people from weight loss is the exact same thing as perpetuating that only skinny models are attractive and that everyone should diet and exercise to look like them. You've essentially created a new fat beauty standard and are getting mad at anyone that doesn't agree with it. What about asking yourself what you truly find attractive? We change our appearances all the time to feel more beautiful. We color our hair and wear makeup. Why can't we change our bodies too? Just because you don't want to change your body doesn't mean that I can't change mine. And there is nothing more to it than me wanting to be the best version of myself for, well, me. A phobia is an irrational fear. So if fat phobia includes health as a reason, then it's rational, right? If you have to lose weight because of your depleting health or want to proactively prevent bad health, you shouldn't need to justify it. Many fat activist arguments come back to either outright denial of science or at best saying that more research is needed. And even if the latter is true, are you supposed to just wait for new research? We get only so much time on this planet. Wouldn't you rather spend your time enjoying it and having as much time as possible? If doctors tell me that it is more likely that I will develop an illness due to obesity, why would I choose to be obese? The science could be wrong, but what good does it do to try to prove the science wrong? And guess what? If you're wrong, you're sick. Or worse, dead. Being of a healthy body weight allows for more conveniences. Easier to find clothes, fit in small spaces, easier access to insurance and medical care, and fair treatment. Now, some of these things should be available to all people. But what good are you doing for yourself just waiting for change? You can continue to push for change while also making the best of your life. If you have mental health issues with food, get help. If you don't, but just happen to regularly eat in a calorie surplus, you can try to lose a few pounds, sensibly and slowly. You might find that making changes in your life not only allow you to buy smaller clothes, but also make you feel better just living your life. Do you really need to commit to activism? I'm not saying that all people don't deserve fair treatment, but if you lose weight because of the conveniences and then feel better about the weight loss and found that dropping a few pounds wasn't actually that hard, or at least not as hard as you thought, are you still responsible for upholding all fat activist arguments? Do you still need to fight against all things fatphobic? Or is fighting for fair treatment and being anti-bullying enough? And what if your views change while you lose weight? In this day and age, nobody wants to be in a group that discriminates. You don't want to be viewed as anti-diversity. But that is different than race and identity, because it says more about how a person lives, what they are able to do, and what they've already done. Scaring people into staying fat is just as bad as diet culture, and probably worse. Scaring people into believing they are less moral of a person because they choose to lose weight is worse than scaring them that they should lose weight to be healthy. Give people all the information and let them make their own decisions, and not just one version of the story, the whole story. So, is losing weight fatphobic? No. If you believe in body autonomy, what you do to yourself does not project any malice onto others. You do you, and let other people be. Let's start with desirability. Now, this is a hot topic, and I know that many fat activists will argue that because of their size, they are discriminated against when it comes to romantic relationships. But is this true? Because in this day and age on the internet, you can pretty much find someone for anyone. I think that the only real issue would be if someone is attracted to someone that their friends and family don't approve of. But that happens with other groups of people all the time. Certain families might want you to date a particular race or religion, and other friends might want you to date someone with a different economic status. So this is a problem with people not listening to their true voices versus doing what other people around them want them to do. But if you are listening to your true voice and your true voice says, I am not attracted to fat people, well then you are just not attracted to fat people. That is up to you. What I find most problematic about this type of messaging, though, that if you don't date fat people, you're fatphobic, is the pressure for people to learn how to like fat bodies. I mean, doesn't this sound a whole lot like gay conversion therapy? And we all know that that doesn't work, and denying people their true authenticity, well, that's disastrous. There is a lot more I could say specifically on this, but I did another video on not dating fat people is fatphobic, and that one has much, much, much more details just purely on the whole dating thing, if you would like to check that out. The other thing I hear with respect to dating, though, is that their dating pool is different than a regular person's dating pool. And it could be the size of the dating pool, but also that they claim that they are more sexualized than other body types. And I'm not going to say that fat people aren't sexualized. Of course they are, but I think we all are sexualized. And superficial attraction is part and parcel for all sorts of dating. Usually you start dating someone that you are attracted to, then you get to know them, and then the relationship evolves deeper. But the idea that you can meet someone who's attracted to you for you initially sounds nice, but a little unrealistic. And I get it. I mean, I truly get what they are saying. I know what it's like to have people attracted to me based on particular physical features. But that's okay. If that's how my relationship with someone starts, that's fine. As we get to know each other and the relationship evolves, it can either get better or it can get worse. But if the initial attraction is physical, what's the problem with that? The other thing I wanted to draw attention to that I haven't heard many other people say is the hypocrisy of beauty standards. Because a beauty standard is a definition of what beautiful is adopted by a group of people. And they can tell other people how to get that beauty standard, and they can shame people for not getting that beauty standard. So their argument is that diet culture promotes an unrealistic body. They show you how to diet to get that body, and if you don't try to get that body, they tell you that you're unhealthy. Well, they're saying that a fat body is a beautiful and attractive body. They also add in healthy, which is not true. But then they tell you that you should stay in that fat body, and if you change it in any way, you are a bad person. This is the same messaging as diet culture, except using the word fat instead of thin. Let's move on to health. Now, health is a real rational reason to lose weight. It is not an irrational fear, therefore it is not a phobia, and it does not deserve to be on this list at all, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole list of reasons why obesity is unhealthy. I already have plenty of videos that do that, and I'll probably do plenty more in the future. But for all intents and purposes, let's just say we already know that being fat is unhealthy. But what bothers me about this is that losing weight for your health is fatphobic. Now, let's say that I have a very close friend, and my close friend is terminally ill with cancer, and I want to be there for her and I want to support her. And while I am there for my friend and supporting my friend, I find out that I have a tumor. Well, what should I do? Her cancer is untreatable. She's terminal. But my cancer is treatable. I could get the tumor removed. Should I show solidarity by sticking with my friend who has cancer and we both have cancer together? Or should I get my tumor removed? Now, which makes more sense? If I were to get better and my friend doesn't get better, does that mean that I don't support and care her anymore? Of course it doesn't. Because me doing something for my health has nothing to do with how I feel about your health. I am not projecting my weight loss onto you as you needing to lose weight, but you are projecting your unhappiness with your own body onto me by telling me that I should not lose weight. Conveniences. Now, the world is built for the average person. Average heights, average weights, and average literacy. So when everything gets designed, it's meant to fit most people. I'm someone who is average sized, so I can do things like ride a roller coaster. But if roller coasters were created for people that weighed 400 pounds, how many average people would actually be able to ride them safely? We always go with the middle ground. Some people are going to be on one side and some people are going to be on the other side. And until we have the money and technology and a way to accommodate everyone, certain people are always going to be left out. You know what else makes your life more convenient? Money. And if you are someone who is struggling to pay your bills and all of a sudden you get offered a job that is much higher paying, what are you supposed to do? Turn it down because you have friends that make less money than you? No, of course. You want to make your own life more convenient. You want to make your own life easier. So if someone makes the choice to lose weight to make their life easier, isn't that good for them? Okay, now let's discuss activism. I find this one kind of interesting that the message is if you are going to lose weight, don't forget to be a fat activist because we still need your voice in the fat activism community. But is that a fair request when someone is going on a personal journey? Their whole weight loss experience might make them see the world completely differently. You don't know that once they start losing weight and they go, oh, my knees don't hurt anymore. Oh, I can sleep better. Oh, I don't get winded when I'm walking around. They might change their views. Maybe the real issue that fat people have with other fat people losing weight is that they will see the light and not support them anymore. Maybe it's their efforts just to keep everybody in the dark. But the biggest problem that I have with fat activism is that they attach such high morals to not losing weight. And it's so much worse than diet culture. Because in diet culture, this is the healthy weight, and if you don't lose weight to be in that healthy weight, then you are unhealthy, which is true. It's not nice, but it's true. Whereas in fat activism, it is stay at this unhealthy weight, and if you lose weight, you are a bad person. Nobody wants to be labeled as anti-anything. So the pressure to be a good person is weighing on them so heavily, heavier than their actual weight, that it makes them unable to make that choice to do something better for themselves because they don't want to be a bad person. Nobody in diet culture is saying that you are bad or evil if you don't lose weight. They just say you are not healthy. And yes, I know that messaging in the past has been terrible. They called people lazy and ugly, and I know those voices still exist, but in 2022, it really isn't as bad as it used to be. It isn't the common messaging anymore. What I hear more and more now is it's just not healthy. Whereas the fat acceptance people say, if you don't live your life by our rules, you're a bigot. Lastly, I'd like to ask the question, why is it that fat activists need people to get their blessing or permission to do things to themselves so desperately? It sounds a whole lot like high school peer pressure to me. Oh, you can't wear your hair like that. That's out of style. Or, oh, you can't sit with us. You're not popular enough. Or, oh my God, I'm not going to get into that car with you. Does this not feel like a whole bunch of teenagers telling you what to do? But it's worse because they're adults and they should know better. They've also co-opted the slogan, my body, my choice. But really, it is your body, our choice. Losing weight is not fatphobic. Losing weight hurts fat people's feelings, but that is not your problem, and that is not my problem. But alas, this is my 25-pound yo-yo, and not weight loss makes fats feel bad. So until next time, yo-yo, and let's go.